Halo, selamat siang Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman semuanya, para sahabat Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia. Selamat siang, apa kabar? Salam sehat dan salam sejahtera buat kita semuanya. Saya Leni, Presiden dari Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia, mengucapkan selamat datang dan selamat bergabung di channel YouTube Live-nya Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia. Sebelum kita mendengarkan sharing dari tamu spesial kita, tadi barusan kita ada melihat satu buah video, yaitu video tentang pintu belajar. Pintu belajar dan Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia didirikan oleh founder kami, Ibu Lilian Halim, dan saat ini pintu belajar telah memberikan beasiswa kepada kurang lebih 500 anak-anak Indonesia dari kalangan prasejahtera, mulai dari tingkat PAUD, sekolah dasar, sekolah menengah, tingkat universitas di S1, S2, maupun S3. Dan saat ini sudah ada puluhan anak-anak asuh pintu belajar yang telah lulus sarjana dan saat ini sudah bekerja di masyarakat dan sudah bisa memperbaiki kesejahteraan keluarga mereka. Terima kasih kepada ibu-ibu Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia, founder kami, Ibu Lilian Halim, dan para donatur lainnya atas support kepada pintu belajar selama ini. Kepada Bapak, Ibu, dan teman-teman semuanya, para sahabat Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia yang tergerak hatinya untuk mensupport program charity dari Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia, pintu belajar, nanti bisa menghubungi sekretariat untuk informasi lebih lanjut. Mudah-mudahan ke depannya pintu belajar bisa membantu lebih banyak lagi anak-anak Indonesia dari kalangan prasejahtera sehingga bisa mencerdaskan anak bangsa, dan mudah-mudahan anak-anak asuh pintu belajar selain bermanfaat dan berkontribusi untuk kesejahteraan keluarga mereka, nantinya juga bisa bermanfaat dan berkontribusi untuk masyarakat Indonesia dan membanggakan bangsa dan negara tercinta kita, Indonesia. Sebelum masuk ke sesi sharing, marilah kita semuanya meluangkan waktu sejenak untuk berdoa sebagai ucapan puji syukur kita kepada Tuhan Yang Maha Esa dan Sang Tiratana, karena saat ini kita masih dapat berkumpul dalam keadaan sehat, walaupun secara virtual. Kita dapat berkumpul di siang hari yang berbahagia ini untuk nanti kita sama-sama belajar pengetahuan dari narasumber kita. Marilah kita berdoa sesuai dengan agama dan keyakinan kita masing-masing. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Marilah kita lanjutkan dengan membacakan dan merenungkan core value dari Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia, supaya nilai-nilai tersebut dapat kita praktekkan dan amalkan dalam kehidupan kita sehari-hari. Sebagai Kalayanamita Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia, kami bertekad untuk menjalankan nilai-nilai berikut. 1. Respek, penuh hormat kepada Sang Tiratana, mereka yang lebih tua, guru, teman sedama, dan semua makhluk hidup demi tercapainya hubungan yang sehat dan harmonis. 2. Joyful effort, penuh semangat sukacita di dalam mencapai kesejahteraan dan keseimbangan antara fisik dan mental, keluarga dan ekonomi, interpersonal dan spiritual. 3. Integrity, menjalani hidup sesuai prinsip dan nilai-nilai kebenaran, baik melalui pikiran, ucapan, maupun perbuatan. Service, tidak mementingkan diri sendiri, melayani dengan tulus ikhlas dan sepenuh hati, demi kebahagiaan dan kesejahteraan semua makhluk. 5. Compassion, mengembangkan kebajikan dan welas asih terhadap sesama di dalam menjalani kehidupan yang tidak merugikan siapapun. 6. Learning, terus belajar dan meningkatkan kualitas diri, baik secara pengertian maupun praktek dhamma, demi kemajuan spiritual hingga tercapainya pembebasan sejati. 7. Self-reflection, melakukan introspeksi diri. mengembangkan kesadaran dan kebijaksanaan, penuh rasa syukur di dalam menjalani kehidupan yang penuh makna. 8. Faith, mengembangkan pandangan benar serta keyakinan yang kokoh untuk terus hidup sesuai dengan Buddha Dhamma. Selamat siang, Bapak, Ibu, dan teman-teman semuanya, para sahabat Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia. Saat ini di layar sudah ada Bante ya. Good afternoon, Bante. Good afternoon, Venerable Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita. How are you? Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Good, Bante.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Namo Buddhaya. Yeah, very happy to see Venerable Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita here to share precious Dhamma to us in Indonesia. Thank you for your precious time, Venerable Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita. Ya, di layar satu lagi sudah ada Sis Jenny. Ya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Sis Jenny. Yeah, Sis Jenny is our translator and moderator today, and Sis Jenny also is our committee in Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia. Oke, Bapak, Ibu, dan teman-teman semuanya, tentu saja sudah tidak sabar ingin mendengarkan sharing Dhamma dari Venerable Yang Mulia Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita. Jauh-jauh dari Uganda ya, bisa memberikan wejangan Dhamma kepada kita semua di siang menjelang sore yang berbahagia ini ya. Tentu saja Bapak, Ibu, dan teman-teman sudah lagi ya ingin mendengarkan tentang karma dan kelahiran kembali. Oke, baik, tanpa tunggu waktu yang berlama-lama, kita mengundang Yang Mulia Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita dari Uganda dan Sis Jenny untuk memulai sesi Dhamma Talk ini. Ya, waktu dan tempat kita persilakan. Ya, kita persilakan. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, all friends. Selamat sore, selamat siang menjelang sore ya untuk teman-teman Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia dan semuanya. Mungkin untuk awal kami akan bacakan dulu untuk sedikit profil singkat mengenai Venerable Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita, dan selanjutnya kami akan memulai sesi untuk Dhamma Talk pada siang ini sebelum kita tutup dengan question and answer session dan juga sedikit blessing dari Bante. Nah, Bante, allow me to read a little bit about your biography to all our audience, and then after that we will have our Dhamma Talk session followed by a question and answer session and also a little bit of blessing at the end by Bante. So I will just read a little bit of Venerable Bhikkhu Buddharakkita's biography. So Venerable Bhikkhu Buddharakkhita was born in Uganda, Africa. So he first encountered Buddhism in 1919 while he was studying in India. He was ordained as a Theravada Buddhist monk by the late Sayadaw U Silananda in 2002 at the Tathagatha Meditation Centre in San Jose, California. He then spent 8 years under the guidance of Bhante Hanapala Gunaratana at Bhavana Society, West Virginia. And then since 2005, Bhante has been teaching meditation in Africa, Europe, Asia, South America, and United States. At the current moment, Bhante is the founder and the Abbot of Uganda Buddhist Centre in Uganda. And he is also a visiting professor at Union Theological Seminary in New York, USA, and also spiritual advisor to the Global Buddhist Relief in New Jersey. There are some publications that has been made also by Bhante. One of them is Planting Dhamma Seeds, also the emergence of Buddhism in Africa, his story of his religious and spiritual work in Africa. Sowing seeds of peace and mindfulness meditation for finding peace within, a practical guide to mindfulness in daily life. So that is the short biography of Bante. And now maybe today we can start our Dhamma talk session. I will help to translate Bante's Dhamma talk to Indonesian for some of our friends. So please Bante, thank you.
Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih kembali.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Welcome to this talk on Kamma and Rebirth.
Nah, terima kasih Bante. Jadi hari ini topiknya adalah Kamma dan Rebirth.
Yes,
Kelahiran ulang. Yep.
Today we cover many themes, but we will center our themes on a definition of karma, the result of karma, rebirth, what's karma and what's not, moral and immoral behaviors, and many other things, but that's major themes we'll cover.
Jadi pada hari ini kita akan membicarakan apakah itu karma dan apakah yang bukan karma, apakah sikap moral dan yang tidak moral, dan juga masih banyak lagi yang akan kita bicarakan, tetapi utamanya kita akan membicarakan tentang hal-hal tersebut.
Also, we talk about the benefits of understanding of karma, because some people, they think that this is just an Asian concept, a Buddhist concept, but when you understand the benefits of really understanding the law of karma, then you really get encouraged and inspired to really start understanding it and practice it.
Dan mungkin yang paling penting juga adalah benefit atau keuntungan dari mengetahui pentingnya dari karma ini. Jadi selain hanya menganggapnya sebagai suatu konsep, yang penting itu adalah mengetahui sebenarnya betapa pentingnya karma supaya kita dapat lebih serius dalam mempraktekannya dalam kehidupan sehari-hari.
To begin with, we start by defining what's karma. Karma, according to Buddhism, is different from what Hinduism is different. How the Hindu tradition define the karma. Its origin, the word karma just means any action. A physical action, actually, in a physical action, and that's what the Hindus, Hindu tradition, that religion, they still take that definition to be valid. That karma means action, but this is different from what the Buddha taught.
Jadi kita akan mulai dulu dengan mendefinisikan apakah itu karma. Jadi karma itu di Buddhism berbeda dengan apa yang didefinisikan dengan karma di ajaran Hindu. Di ajaran Hindu sendiri, karma itu adalah semua action, semua aksi yang dilakukan. Jadi apa yang dilakukan itulah karma. Ini berbeda dengan konsep karma secara Buddhism.
Actually, when you look even at the root of the word karma is kal, to do. So no wonder they call it a deed, karma. So I understand it when you look at even the definition, the root of the word where karma comes from, that's the root. But when it comes to a demonstration, we can say that, okay, to do like stretching my hand like this, that's already karma from a Hindu tradition. Just an action, physical action of stretching my hand like this. It's already karma.
Jadi sebagai contoh misalkan di agama Hindu semua aksi adalah karma. Jadi dengan hanya seperti misalkan dengan tangan dikeluarkan seperti demikian, itu juga sudah merupakan karma karena itu merupakan physical action, aksi fisik, tindakan fisik.
Yes. So then when it comes to Buddhism, the Buddha found that word already existing in the society, and he raised the word karma to a higher philosophical, psychological value to encompass the intention behind action. The intention. What's the intention before you do the action? That's what Buddha was interested in.
Jadi untuk Buddhism sendiri, yang paling penting itu adalah apa yang ada di balik tersebut. Jadi adalah kehendak atau apa yang mendorong seseorang melakukan hal tersebut atau melakukan aksi tersebut.
In one book called Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, I declare, O bhikkhus, that volition, the Pali word cetana, is karma. Having willed, one acts by body, speech, and thought. That's the definition we find in the scripture.
Oke, jadi untuk dalam agama Buddha sendiri, karma itu adalah suatu kehendak, ya cetana ya. Kehendak adalah karma karena melalui kehendak tersebut, lalu seseorang akan bertindak baik melalui sikap fisik, sikap jasmani, melalui ucapan dan melalui pikiran.
So now, taking the same example of stretching the hands, now, from a Buddhist point of view, I can stretch my hand and slap somebody because I'm angry, right? And that's become the intention of stretching my hand, is because I'm going to slap somebody. So now, when I do like this, the same action, but the intention is different. Now I use my arm to maybe beat somebody. Then Buddha then take the ethical quality of that action. What is the ethical quality of that action? Is it the motivation? Is it greed, hatred, delusion, or the opposite, which is non-greed, non-hatred? In other words, generosity, loving kindness, or wisdom. So we look at that one.
Jadi pada saat seseorang melakukan sesuatu, jadi contohnya misalkan Anda mengeluarkan tangan Anda dan tidak sengaja atau sengaja hit somebody, maksudnya kena ke seseorang, yang dilihat itu adalah the will, jadi motivasi dan kehendak dari perbuatan tersebut. Jadi sebenarnya apa sih yang memotivasi untuk melakukan hal tersebut? Apakah didasari oleh kemarahan atau didasari oleh hal-hal yang tidak baik, atau mungkin dilandasi oleh hal yang tidak marah, lalu tidak ignorance. Jadi memang kehendak di belakang dan motivasi di belakang tersebut yang sangat penting dilihat oleh Buddha.
And for that matter, if I'm to stretch my hand to beat somebody, the root might be anger, and we call it unwholesome, bad karma, because of the quality, the ethical quality. However, we can stretch our hands to give something, like these things. I want to give you a cup of tea. So I'm very generous, right? And then I give you a cup of tea like this. So the ethical quality then is generosity. So that we call wholesome karma or good karma. So it's the same action of stretching the hand, but the intention behind is different. And that's what Buddha was very interested, what's behind the actions or speech or whatever.
Jadi aksi atau perbuatan yang sama dapat dilandasi oleh kualitas etik yang sangat berbeda. Jadi contohnya kita mengeluarkan tangan kita. Kalau misalkan kita mengeluarkan tangan kita untuk memukul seseorang karena kita kesal, karena kita marah, maka perbuatan tersebut dianggap sebagai perbuatan yang tidak baik, unwholesome. Tetapi di lain pihak, misalkan kalian mengeluarkan tangan untuk mengambil cup misalkan dan memberikannya kepada seseorang, itu merupakan suatu perbuatan yang baik karena itu ingin berbagi, generosity. Jadi itu merupakan perbuatan yang dianggap sebagai perbuatan baik. Jadi action yang sama, yaitu mengeluarkan tangan Anda dapat dilandasi oleh kualitas moral yang berbeda.
So karma is one of the factors for inequalities in beings. The inequalities you see in the world, it's not all about, it's caused by karma, but it's just one of the factors. In fact, the Buddha one time said, all living beings have karma as their own inheritance, their own kinship, their own refuge. In fact, the Buddha really mentioned that we are the owners of our karma, born of our karma, live related to our karma. and so on. Whether we do good things or bad, that will follow us. We are going to be the heirs to our karma. So in other words, you can see karma plays a big part of our life.
Jadi kita merupakan pemilik dari karma tersebut. Jadi kita adalah hasil dari karma yang sudah terjadi dan merupakan penentu dan penanggung jawab atas karma tersebut. Jadi kita sangat bertanggung jawab atas karma yang sudah terjadi.
In other words, inequalities in life are not only due to hereditary. In other words, succession, environment, how we are brought up. Those are factors can change our quality of life, and you can see differences in people's life. But karma plays a very, very big part, and the result of our inherited past actions and our present doings are really determining what we are now.
Jadi ada beberapa hal yang misalkan tidak bisa diubah seperti di mana kita lahir, asal mula kita dari keluarga mana, tetapi karma itu memegang peranan yang sangat penting sekali dalam menentukan di mana kita sekarang ini. Jadi past action kita sangat menentukan di mana kita berada sekarang ini.
In one discourse, the Buddha laid out these differences. He talked about one who's rich and poor. This is because of their karma. One is beautiful and ugly. One who is in high class, low class. Many, many different categories the Buddha gave. And he said that when you, let's say, influential and somebody who's not influential at all, he contributes this because of low karma. But I put a caveat. When we read more Buddha suttas, we find out actually, let's say, the cause of poverty is not only karma, but also other factors like economic factors.
So not all of the, sorry, Bante, I will just clarify because just now a little bit of connection error. So you were saying that some of that is not only caused by the differential in terms of position, how influential one person is not only caused by karma, yeah?
Yes, though in the sutta it talks about that, but we found out, for instance, when it comes to poverty, when you are poor, we cannot say that because you are poor because of only karma. Though the sutta talks about that, but other teaching of the Buddha, we found out there are other factors that can lead to poverty. Let's say laziness. When you are lazy in this present life, even economic factors can influence you and become poor, even when you have good karma. So that's why I say that we're going to even see this, that not everything is caused by karma. And also saying that nothing is caused by karma, that's the wrong view. And also think that everything is caused by karma, that's also an extreme. So it's good to remember that karma is one of the factors, but actually.
Poin dari Bante juga adalah karma merupakan salah satu faktor penentu, tetapi bukan merupakan satu-satunya faktor penentu. Jadi contohnya adalah misalkan seseorang dilahirkan dengan posisi yang influential atau dia dilahirkan di keluarga yang berada, misalkan dia berada atau lebih tidak berada. Itu tidak hanya dikontribusikan oleh karma, tetapi juga ditentukan oleh faktor-faktor lain. Misalkan jika dia malas, misalkan itu akan menentukan keadaan dia sekarang ini. Jadi yang penting untuk kita tangkap juga adalah karma tidak menentukan segalanya, tapi karma itu merupakan salah satu faktor penentu.
To put it simply, human beings are responsible for their own happiness and misery.
Jadi secara singkat, yang penting kita tangkap itu adalah semua manusia itu bertanggung jawab atas kebahagiaan dan juga penderitaan yang mereka rasakan.
Human beings are creators of their own heaven and hell. They are the architect of their own fate and success.
Mereka adalah pencipta dari surga maupun neraka. Jadi mereka sendiri yang menentukan surga dan neraka.
Yes, and it's very, very important that we we actually remember that so that we are responsible, because it's very easy to shift the responsible for to others. But even when no others have a hand in our happiness and all that, we still have to take a responsible for that.
Ini sangat penting karena dia mengingatkan kita untuk bertanggung jawab atas apa yang terjadi. Jadi kita sangat mudah untuk melemparkan tanggung jawab tersebut kepada orang lain. Jadi maksudnya kebahagiaan dan kesedihan kita kontribusikan pada hal lain. Tetapi sebenarnya itu merupakan tanggung jawab dari kita sendiri.
Now we go to another teaching which is similar to Kamma. It's called Vipaka in Pali, Vipaka, which means the result of Kamma. And that shouldn't be confused with what's Kamma. One is a result, just like a seed. I mean, one is a Kamma is a seed, and then the result of that Kamma is called Vipaka, and it's just a fruit. The problem people confuse the two, the fruit and the seeds.
Banyak yang bingung antara karma dan hasilnya. Jadi karma itu seperti merupakan suatu seed ya, merupakan biji. Vipaka itu merupakan hasil dari kamma, yaitu buah dari kamma.
Just as in Kamma we talked about bad karma and good karma, with also the results, we have bad results and good results. In other words, wholesome and unwholesome results.
Jadi seperti karma ada yang baik dan tidak baik, demikian juga dengan vipaka dengan hasilnya. Hasil dari karma itu juga ada yang berbuah baik, ada yang berbuah tidak baik.
This was summarized very, very beautifully in Dhammapada, phrase number 1 and number 2. Those the first phrase number 1, verse number 1 and number 2. Buddha summarizes what's karma and its results there.
Ini disummarize sangat bagus ya. Jadi ini diringkaskan dengan sangat bagus di Dhammapada 1 dan Dhammapada 2, di mana di sana Buddha mengatakan apa itu karma. Jadi di sana sangat dijelaskan dengan sangat baik di Dhammapada 1 dan 2.
In Dhammapada number 1, he talks about the bad news. All actions are led by the mind. Man, their chief. Act or speak with impure state of mind, and suffering will follow you.
Jadi di Dhammapada 1, di sana dikatakan pikiran itu merupakan pelopor dari segala sesuatu. Jadi pikiran akan menentukan apa yang terjadi. Maksudnya apa yang berlanjut dari hal tersebut.
He gave a simile there, how suffering can follow you. And the simile that follows that is as the wheel of the cart that follows the foot of the ox that pulls it. The cart wheel, that means the wheel being pulled by a horse or cow or ox. You see the distance between the footprint, the foot of the ox. There's a gap because it's pulling this cart with full of merchandise, and then the wheel keep on rotating and being pulled with full of merchandise. The cart with full of merchandise. So the wheel there, you found out it has to follow the foot, or where the ox put the foot. Then also the wheel comes and then catch up with it. Yes, it just keep on following it.
Jadi bila seseorang berbicara atau berbuat dengan pikiran yang tidak baik, maka mereka akan menderita. Jadi maksudnya penderitaan itu akan mengikuti. Jadi istilahnya seperti di Dhammapada pertama yang nomor 1. Jadi roda itu akan selalu mengikuti langkah dari kaki ox lembu. Jadi kaki lembu itu pada saat berputar, pada saat kaki lembu berjalan, roda akan berputar mengikutinya.
Yes, what's that impure state of mind? It's a mind which is defiled with great hatred and delusion. So when that's the mind, that's the intention, great hatred and delusion, those are mind states. So suffering will follow definitely. It will catch up after 1 day or 1 minute or what. So that shows the relationship between karma and the results of karma in that Dhammapada number 1.
Jadi pikiran yang tidak baik seperti greed, lalu ignorance itu akan menimbulkan hasil yang tidak baik. Jadi pikiran yang tidak baik itu akan membuat seseorang menderita, akan mengikutinya, hal yang kurang baik akan mengikutinya.
But there's also good news. Dhammapada number 2. The verse in Dhammapada number 2 is the good news. Here the Buddha is saying all actions are led by the mind. Mind is their chief. Actors speak with a pure state of mind. That means a mind with generosity, loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. He said happiness will follow you as the shadow follows you without departing.
Tapi kabar baiknya bukan hanya kabar buruk saja yang di-share di Dhammapada pertama, tapi di Dhammapada kedua sebenarnya Buddha juga sharing untuk good news-nya, yaitu sama ya. Jadi nomor 2 itu adalah pikiran adalah pelopor dari segala sesuatu. Tetapi ini on the other hand, kalau seseorang berbicara atau melakukan dengan pikiran yang baik, dengan pikiran yang murni, maka kebahagiaan itu akan mengikuti. Jadi kalau pikiran yang tidak baik, maka penderitaan yang akan mengikuti. Di sini diinfo bahwa dengan kita pada saat seseorang berbuat atau berbicara dengan pikiran yang baik, maka kebahagiaan akan mengikuti. Ini seperti shadow itu seperti bayang-bayang yang tidak meninggalkan bendanya. Karena kalau ada benda, pasti selalu ada bayang-bayang. Demikian.
When you look at the second simile, when a shadow follows you, there's that lightness. When you do good things, they follow you. And also there's no distance. There's no distance between the shadow and the person. So that means that immediacy of happiness that follow you is really very light, as opposed to the first simile, whereby the ox is pulling a cart with full of merchandise and all these kind of things. So you can see the two Dhammapada phases point to the relationship between karma and the result of karma.
Jadi hubungan dari karma dan hasilnya itu sangat terlihat sekali. Jadi kayak misalkan seperti yang di Dhammapada kedua, bayang-bayang itu melekat kepada benda ya. Jadi maksudnya itu tidak terpisahkan ke benda. Jadi hasil dari karma itu akan mengikuti dengan apa yang sudah dilakukan kehendaknya. Jadi misalkan contoh seperti perbuatan yang baik itu akan diikuti oleh hal yang baik. Sama juga seperti Dhammapada pertama, di mana lembu tersebut pada saat menarik barang-barang yang sangat berat, maka rodanya berputar lambat. Demikian juga sama. Jadi pada intinya itu hasilnya itu mengikuti, hasilnya sangat langsung mengikuti hasil dari karma.
So with that background, let us navigate around what's karma and what's not karma. And also really actually what we want to know is to really look at the myths and the reality about the law of karma and the result of karma, because there's a lot of mystery surrounding this teaching and most people get it wrong. So we're going to navigate those mysteries and then try to find out what's the reality.
Jadi kira-kira demikian yang merupakan pendefinisian dari karma, karena karma ini banyak mitos yang terkait dengan karma dan banyak juga misteri yang terkait dengan karma. Jadi di sini penting untuk kita meluruskan yang mana yang mitos dan yang mana adalah yang benar.
Myth 1. Most people think karma is a reward or a punishment. So, but the reality is the karma is neither a reward or a punishment. It's just the way how things follow the natural course, just like law of gravity. When you climb on a building and you fall, the law of gravity is not punishing you. It just do what it has to do.
Jadi mitos yang pertama, apakah karma itu merupakan reward? Reward itu merupakan rewarding atau punishment. Punishment merupakan hukuman. Apakah itu merupakan hadiah atau hukuman? Jawabannya, karma itu bukan merupakan suatu hadiah dan juga bukan merupakan suatu hukuman. Itu bukan dua-duanya. Jadi karma itu bagaikan seperti hukum gravitasi. Jadi pada saat hukum gravitasi, pada saat kita lemparkan barang, kan otomatis dia akan jatuh. Sama seperti dengan karma juga. Jadi karma itu bukan merupakan hadiah dan juga bukan merupakan hukuman. It's just seperti hukum gravitasi.
There is also some myth around karma, which is something, maybe it's in other teaching, but from a Theravada point of view, we have no scripture reference about this. The word collective karma. Yes, that means people who do things, people who are who face problems, maybe tsunami. They say, oh, those people have collective karma. I failed to find a scripture reference to that. Maybe I'll search more, but that word collective karma from a Theravada point of view seemed to be myth around karma. Yes, the reality is karma is you individually do something and you get the results.
Yang kedua adalah tentang kolektif ataupun global karma ya. Jadi misalkan suatu kelompok orang yang menerima penderitaan yang sama. Contoh misalkan banyak orang yang terefek oleh tsunami. Nah, ada yang menanyakan apakah ada yang dinamakan dengan kolektif karma, yaitu sejumlah orang yang merasakan hasil dari karma tersebut. Tetapi secara skriptur Theravada sendiri, hal tersebut sebenarnya tidak didefinisikan, tidak ada kolektif karma. Jadi sebenarnya karma itu lebih ke individual.
Then there is another myth that karma can be purified by bathing in water. And that is even found in the scriptures where the people are telling the Buddha that you can do that. Then I think the Buddha say, well, if that's so, fish and frogs, I don't know whether he mentioned frogs, but anyway, my opinion now is including frogs. Fish and frogs will be the first one which that will be enlightened and purified.
Yes, oke. Ada juga yang maksudnya mitos terkait dengan karma, bahwa karma itu bisa dicuci dengan maksudnya dipurify dengan air misalkan. Itu juga merupakan miskonsepsi yang tidak benar, karena kalau misalkan memang seperti itu, maka Bante bercanda ya, kalau seperti itu maka ikan dan kodok yang memang hidupnya di air, mereka akan merupakan yang paling suci karena mereka yang sering terpurify.
Then there comes a very common misunderstanding or a myth that, the teaching on karma and vipaka, the result of karma, is taught in Buddhism. So that means it can only affect Buddhists. The reality is, whether you are Buddhist or not, whether you study about law of karma or not, it will affect you. It's just like saying that, law of gravity cannot affect Africans or Indonesians because the one who found law of gravity is from England. And they teach it at the universities. For me, I've never gone to the university and I'm not from England. And I don't know about even this law of gravity. So I claim it won't affect me. If you think that that's the case, then you're deluded. So actually, whether you know about law of gravity or not, it will affect you. So whether you know about the law of karma and its effect, including rebirth, it will happen because these are natural laws,
Oke. Jadi juga ada pertanyaan, maksudnya delusi mengenai karma, bahwa karma itu hanya terasosiasi dengan Buddhis. Jadi kalau misalkan saya bukan Buddhis, ya itu tidak efek ke saya. Tapi itu tidak demikian ya halnya. Jadi sama seperti hukum gravitasi. Hukum gravitasi itu berefek kepada semua orang tanpa terkecuali. Jadi itu tidak ada efek dengan saya dari England atau saya dari Afrika. Oh, saya dari Afrika, jadi hukum gravitasi tidak berefek. Tidak demikian halnya. Jadi hukum gravitasi berefek kepada semuanya dan sama juga seperti hukum karma. Hukum karma adalah hukum dasar. Jadi ini sebenarnya berefek kepada semua orang dan bukan hanya terkait kepada Buddhisme.
Then we go to what we call fully enlightened beings, people who have practiced the Dhamma and they're fully enlightened, they're still alive. The question is, can they create new karmas? And what about the results of the things they have done in the past before they got enlightened? Is it erased when they get enlightened? Most people may think so, but that could be a myth. But the reality is, when somebody attains enlightenment, they are no longer creating bad karma of good. I mean, because they have overcome greed, hatred, and delusion, they are not causing fresh karma. But the results of their current, what they do current on the past, it can manifest. That's the case of Moggallana. Moggallana had done bad things in the past before he became enlightened. I think he killed a mother. But this time, as even an enlightened person, he was stoned to death. So definitely with that example, we know a fully enlightened being can still experience the results of the past karma.
Lalu ada juga pertanyaan mengenai apabila seseorang sudah tercerahkan, jadi memang ada yang sudah tercerahkan dalam kehidupan ini, apakah masih ada efek dari yang lalu, dari karma yang lalu? Nah, untuk menjawabnya, ini sebenarnya untuk yang sudah tercerahkan, dia tidak akan melakukan karma yang tidak baik ya, istilahnya karma yang tidak baik di kehidupan ini. Tapi tidak berarti bahwa duka atau penderitaan yang termanifestasi dari apa yang dilakukan di kehidupan lalu tidak akan berbuah hasilnya. Jadi walaupun seseorang sudah tercerahkan di masa kehidupan ini dan tidak menambah karma buruk lagi, itu tidak berarti bahwa karma hal buruk yang dilakukan yang lalu itu tidak termanifestasi di kehidupan yang ini. Contohnya adalah Moggallana sudah tercerahkan, tetapi tetap hal yang buruk terjadi karena itu merupakan buah hasil dari perbuatan di kehidupan yang lalunya.
Then there comes a question in this scientific age where people talk about the result of karma, which is vipaka. They say, well, for me, I doubt about this. The results of karma, you do something, the results of what you've done, where are they kept? We don't see them being kept in a store somewhere. Yeah, where are the results kept? So now we can get some ideas where actually those results are kept. They're not kept anywhere in a store, but an analogy can help us to understand this. I draw it from King Milinda questions to Nagasena, Venerable Nagasena, where I was talking about where the merits are stored. Yeah, so they gave an analogy which I'm going to give you very soon in that question.
Jadi ada juga yang pertanyaan secara saintifik ya, maksudnya untuk yang mungkin lebih skeptis, mereka menanyakan, saya tidak bicara dengan karma, kalau misalkan dengan karma, hasilnya disimpan di mana? Apakah di toko atau di mana sebenarnya karma itu hasil dari karma itu sebenarnya disimpan di mana? Nah, untuk menjawab hal tersebut, Bante menggunakan simana dari Nagasena.
Yeah, they answered like this, where the merits are kept, we can now substitute where the results of karma are kept. By giving an analogy of a seed, when you plant a tree, it grows up, it gets roots, it gets the stem, the branches and the leaves. So now, when we plant that seed, we know we are going to get the fruits. Yeah? Nobody plants a mango tree and think they are not going to get fruits. We know we are going to get the fruits. So you plant it, and then you plant it, it grows up, and now it produces fruits. The question is, by the time of planting that tree before it gives the fruits, where are the fruits kept? Are they kept in the root? Are they kept in the bark of the tree? Are they kept in the branches? Are they kept in the leaves? So the short answer is that everything is based on conditions. When the conditions are come together, the mango tree start bringing fruits. So the same thing when we plant our intentions, of good karma or bad karma, we plant in conditions. We plant conditions, and the conditions come together when they are favorable. Then the result will arise. And if they're not, they'll wait. Just like if a tree, it waits. If it's so dry and there's no water, it might keep on not bringing fruits, you know. But all when the conditions are favorable with moisture, with the temperature, with so good soil and fertilizers and all these things, then you'll see fruits. You cannot see the fruits now coming from the, they have been all the time kept in the roots and the trunk and branches.
Okay.
We know where the fruits are going to come. We know they will come at some time, and also they are going to be on the branches. But before that, few months or days, we cannot locate them.
Jadi untuk menjawab di mana vipaka itu disimpan, seperti di mana hasil dari suatu karma itu disimpan, kita dapat menggunakan analogi biji dan buah ya. Jadi contoh misalkan seseorang menanam biji pohon mangga, mereka pasti berharap bahwa pohon mangga akan keluar dari maksudnya biji tersebut akan menghasilkan pohon mangga. Itu sama seperti kita pada saat kita menanamkan suatu pikiran atau misalkan suatu kehendak. Nah, itu adalah merupakan bijinya. Nah, pada saat kondisi-kondisi yang tepat itu muncul, itu akan menghasilkan. Jadi dari biji tersebut, biji pohon mangga, dia dengan kondisi yang tepat, dia akan menghasilkan pohon mangga. Jadi misalkan dengan siram matahari, dengan air yang cukup. Tetapi pada saat masih belum, kondisi-kondisi tersebut masih belum bekerja sama menjadi satu dan pada saat yang tepat, dia akan menunggu. Jadi contohnya misalkan biji tersebut di dalam tanah, dia masih atau misalkan tidak terlalu disiram, dia akan menunggu sampai kondisi yang tepat baru akan berbuah. Jadi itu sama seperti halnya dengan karma. Pada saat kita mempunyai pikiran baik, mempunyai pikiran tidak baik, mempunyai perlakuan baik dan tidak baik, itu sebenarnya kita sudah menanam biji. Kita sudah menanam biji, dan dengan kondisi yang tepat, biji tersebut akan berbuah, menghasilkan buah. Jadi kira-kira demikian. Jadi vipaka itu analoginya seperti biji dengan buah.
Yes, then there is a myth people have that everything is caused by karma. Everything on this world, everything is due karma. Everything, oh, that's your body karma. But not so. There are certain things which are not caused by karma, that's the reality. And also another view that people cover, oh, nothing is caused by karma. That's Asian mumbo jumbo. For us, we don't even talk about karma. We are not going to subscribe on this worldview, but actually the truth is that karma is just one of other things, that things happen. And I'm going to explain to you some passages from post-canonical literature.
Jadi ada mitos juga yang mengatakan bahwa semuanya itu disebabkan, semua hal itu disebabkan oleh karma. Atau ada juga yang mengatakan tidak ada hal yang disebabkan oleh karma. Tetapi pada kenyataannya karma itu hanya merupakan salah satu dari faktor ya. Jadi maksudnya bukan semuanya itu disebabkan oleh karma, bukan hanya disebabkan oleh karma saja. Bante akan menerangkan lebih lanjut.
Yes, though this is post-canonical, but it makes a lot of sense. What we call niyama, natural laws, in other words, order, the natural laws, we call niyama. So the Buddha, according to the Buddhist literature, we find the 5 niyama, and I'm going to spell them out. And karma is just one of the 5.
Jadi di sini Bante akan menerangkan untuk faktor-faktor atau proses-proses dari hukum natural yang disebutkan dengan niyama. Nah, di niyama ini karma merupakan salah satunya, tapi hanya merupakan salah satu dari 5 niyama atau 5 dari natural law.
Okay, we start with what we call utu niyama. Utu niyama, in other words, physical inorganic order.
Jadi kita akan mulai dengan hukum yang pertama. Hukum yang pertama itu merupakan utu niyama, yaitu hukum mengenai hal-hal ya inorganik ya, inorganik.
So now this is whereby we get seasons, winter, monsoons, we get earthquakes, we get winds, we get all rain and tsunami. That has nothing to do with karma.
Oke. Yang pertama adalah utu niyama, yaitu utu niyama ini adalah salah satu contohnya kenapa kita ada gempa bumi, kenapa kita ada musim dingin, kenapa kita ada musim panas. Ini salah satunya, bukan salah satunya, ini adalah contoh-contoh dari utu niyama.
There is another one which is called bija niyama. Bija means seed. So these are physical organic order laws. In other words, that's the order of germs and seeds. This is fruits. When you plant a mango, you get mango fruits. That has nothing to do with karma. It's just the way how things are, the physical organic laws.
Hukum yang kedua adalah bija niyama. Jadi bija niyama ini, bija artinya adalah biji. Di sini yang terkait dengan bija niyama adalah hal-hal organik, misalkan yang terkait dengan biji-bijian. Jadi contoh misalkan biji pohon mangga menghasilkan buah mangga. Nah, itu tidak ada hubungannya dengan karma. Jadi itu merupakan hukum natural yang terkait dengan bija niyama.
Then we go to moral order. What we would call say Kamma niyama, that's our current topic. This is whereby your intention actions bring results based on the ethical qualities, whether wholesome or unwholesome. That's already we have defined already.
Faktor yang ketiga adalah yang sedang kita bicarakan sekarang ini, yaitu hukum kamma atau kamma niyama. Jadi kamma niyama ini adalah hukum yang mengatur tentang intensi, kehendak, dan motivasi di belakang suatu perbuatan. Jadi yang kamma yang baik dapat menghasilkan kebahagiaan, dan yang tidak baik menghasilkan penderitaan.
Then the fourth one is chitta niyama. These are psychological laws. These are psychological laws whereby when one event follows the others, just like seeing you here, what will happen, and I will distinguish that you're a woman or male. I would know that you are tall or short. So how I think about you, how I feel about you, all this is psychological order based on the mind.
Yang hukum keempat adalah citta niyama. Citta niyama ini adalah hukum natural yang lebih ke arah kesadaran ya. Jadi misalkan misalnya sesuatu yang kita proses di pikiran. Jadi contohnya misalkan seseorang masuk, apakah orang itu tinggi, pendek, dan yang lainnya, itu kesadaran tersebut atau cita tersebut itu diatur di citta niyama.
Yeah, finally we have what we call dhamma niyama. This is more of a spiritual order. In other words, the natural phenomena. These are called dhammata, things happening, rising and falling, impermanence, suffering, all this kind of teaching. But these are more like specific events happens at the advent of the birth of a Buddha like that. But we can take also what the Dhamma laws are, basically.
Jadi yang terakhir adalah dhamma niyama, yaitu lebih ke hukum spiritual. Jadi contoh misalkan hukum-hukum tentang impermanen, bahwa semuanya itu tidak permanen, lalu hidup adalah penderitaan dan yang lainnya, itu diatur di hukum dhamma niyama ini.
Alright, so we can make next we can make a distinction of moral behaviors and immoral behaviors. That's what I want to talk about. For instance, practicing generosity, we call it a moral behavior, but stealing would be immoral for that matter. So this distinction, you are clear about it. You can even summarize them that keeping 5 precepts, you practice what you call moral behaviors, but you break the 5 precepts. I'm just giving an example. You can substitute 8 precepts, 10 precepts, morals. So in other words, if you observe 5 precepts, you have moral behavior. And if you don't observe them, you call it immoral behaviors. So that one is very clear. I think we don't have to spend more time on explanation.
Jadi kita di sini juga untuk pendefinisian moral dan tidak moral, perbuatan yang moral dan tidak moral. Ini contohnya misalkan pada saat kita berbagi, ini juga merupakan contoh perbuatan yang bermoral baik, dan mencuri itu perbuatan yang tidak baik. Jadi yang diatur di 5 precept, jadi maksudnya tidak mencuri, tidak membunuh, tidak melakukan perbuatan asusila, itu semuanya adalah perbuatan dengan moralitas baik, dan opposite-nya kebalikannya itu adalah perbuatan dengan moralitas yang tidak baik, tidak moral maksudnya, immoral.
Yes. So now we go to the benefits of understanding of love karma, because most people don't know this, and then they even avoid to understand it because they think that it doesn't help at all.
Nah, ini sangat penting untuk diketahui, karena jika tidak, maka ini akan menimbulkan kekosongan dalam melakukan sesuatu, dalam bertindak.
The first benefit is actually self-restraint. If we know that what we are going to do is going to have a boomerang effect, whether if we do bad things, we're going to get bad results, and if we know that clearly, then we will have self-restraint. So that's the one benefit. We can restrain and keep out from the trouble.
Salah satu benefit dari mengetahui hal-hal ini adalah itu akan melimit kita untuk melakukan hal yang tidak baik. Jadi kalau kita tahu bahwa jika kita melakukan perbuatan yang tidak baik atau hal-hal yang tidak baik, itu akan mengakibatkan hal yang tidak baik seperti bumerang, maka kita itu akan melimit kita dalam melakukan hal-hal. Jadi kita akan berpikir sebelum kita melakukan sesuatu.
Yes, another benefit is self-responsibility. That means we take full responsibility of our physical, verbal, and mental behaviors. We don't become reckless.
Yang kedua adalah kita bertanggung jawab terhadap perbuatan kita. Jadi kita tidak menjadi gegabah, ya, kita tidak melakukan perbuatan tanpa berpikir, tapi kita fully responsible. Jadi kita benar-benar bertanggung jawab terhadap apa yang kita lakukan.
The third benefit is self-confidence, because we know that we can change our life. In other words, we are not doomed. Even if we are experiencing bad things, we know that we are the architect of our life. We can do something about it. So there's that self-confidence that comes along.
Yang ketiga adalah percaya diri, karena kita tahu bahwa hukumnya adalah demikian, bahwa kita itu bertanggung jawab terhadap hidup kita sendiri. Jadi kita dapat melakukan sesuatu untuk mengubahnya. Jadi itu dapat membuat kita lebih self-confidence atau lebih percaya diri dalam menjalani hidup ini.
Another fourth benefit is it helps us to cultivate patience, because we know that even if bad thing befall us, we become patient with that experience, knowing that maybe we did something not good. So we can also become patient with others, or both. So patience is a very good virtue to cultivate. So understanding karma can help us to cultivate that patience.
Dengan lebih mengerti tentang karma, kita juga akan lebih sabar. Karena kita akan lebih sabar pada saat suatu hal yang tidak baik terjadi pada kita, karena kita tahu mungkin itu disebabkan oleh hal lalu yang sudah kita lakukan. Jadi itu akan melatih kita untuk lebih bersabar, baik terhadap diri sendiri maupun terhadap orang lain.
Also to help us to cultivate qualities like equanimity, so that we see beings with an equanimous mind, knowing that all beings are on of their karma, and so on.
Yang kelima adalah melatih equanimitas, jadi bahwa semua orang itu merupakan pelopor dari karma mereka sendiri. Jadi mereka merupakan bertanggung jawab terhadap karma mereka sendiri.
And also we can cultivate wisdom, because understanding love karma is part of right understanding. So it's a good source of wisdom, and it's a spiritual faculty also. Wisdom is a spiritual faculty and a spiritual power. So knowing fully the karma teachings, we can actually gain a lot of wisdom.
Yang ketujuh adalah kita dapat melatih dan mengembangkan kebijaksanaan kita. Karena dengan mengerti karma, kita dapat melatih kebijaksanaan, karena itu sebenarnya merupakan correct understanding, pengertian yang benar. Jadi kita mengerti secara benar.
Now we go on rebirth. Rebirth is a teaching that have follow after understanding some karma, the teaching on karma, then you really understand. You need to go to rebirth, so to give it the context, because you cannot study it in isolation.
Oke, jadi setelah kita membahas tentang karma, kita akan masuk ke kelahiran ulang, yaitu rebirth. Karena rebirth itu merupakan kelanjutan dari karma ini. Kita tidak bisa memisahkan pembicaraan mengenai rebirth ini dari pembicaraan tentang karma.
Now we have to clear the terms very clearly. The word reincarnation is actually a Hindu tradition. Reincarnation, we find it reincarnation, but I think what the Buddha was trying to teach was something different. Though it's similar, but not the same.
Jadi kelahiran ulang ini sering disamakan juga dengan reinkarnasi. Nah, reinkarnasi ini lebih ke tradisi Hindu, jadi sebenarnya konteksnya agak berbeda dengan rebirth di agama Buddha.
With reincarnation, incarnate means fresh. Then we put re means again fresh, flesh. Now, what does that mean, though? It means that there is a soul that always seeking some kind of physical body to reincarnate, right? So, in other words, it's one soul moving from one person to another person, one human being to another, one being. So many species, the soul keep on migrating, and that shows that it's really Hindu tradition, because they believe in the soul migrating from one body to another. So now with Buddhism, the proper word should be rebecoming, punabhava, right? Rebecoming, that's the best term. Literally, that's what it means, rebecoming.
Rebecoming. Oke, so jadi kalau misalkan untuk reinkarnasi sendiri di tradisi Hindu, jadi untuk tradisi Hindu sendiri, reinkarnasi itu seperti jiwa yang berpindah dari satu badan ke badan lain. Jadi jiwanya itu dari satu badan ke badan lain, dia berpindah terus, itu yang dikatakan sebagai reinkarnasi. Sedangkan untuk Buddhism sendiri lebih cocok diistilahkan sebagai rebecoming.
There is another term also that's so related, is called rebirth. But also we have a problem with that word, rebirth, because other traditions, they might be using it, means to be born again, right? To be born again is rebirth. But that's, for us, we are reborn again, and again, many times, until we reach liberated. So in other words, I want to avoid so much these two terms, reincarnation and rebirth, and I use the word rebecoming, because I feel that's what the Buddha was really trying to point to.
Okay. Untuk rebirth sendiri, terkadang rebirth ini pengertiannya juga agak dapat diartikan sedikit berbeda, karena rebirth itu adalah kelahiran ulang, tapi sedangkan untuk agama Buddha sendiri, untuk Buddhism sendiri, rebirth ini berulang-ulang ya, kita rebirth terus berulang-ulang. Jadi sebenarnya strictly speaking, reinkarnasi maupun rebirth ini tidak terlalu akurat dalam mengartikan hal tersebut. Yang lebih akurat itu adalah rebecoming.
If I'm to use the word rebirth, I would put an Indonesian word there, banyak. Rebirth again, many times, very much.
Karena kalau misalnya banyak sekali, yes. Karena kalau kita menggunakan kata rebirth itu berarti kita harus menambahkan, nanti mengatakan kita harus menambahkan banyak sekali rebirth. Jadi karena kita untuk kelahiran ulang ini sendiri akan berlangsung sangat banyak sekali dan berulang-ulang.
So, but let's use the word rebecoming for our sake of understanding. So now when we die in this lifetime, we actually become another fresh 5 aggregates of clinging. We actually gain a fresh aggregates, which are changing all the time, of course. So now what happens, because of our past karma, And because of our craving of the past, and because of our ignorance, we seek for a new. We become in another life. We go to another life. Yes.
Kenapa Bante mengatakan lebih cocok untuk term rebecoming? Karena sebenarnya di kehidupan ini kita merupakan hasil dari 5 agregat dan kita menjadi di kehidupan selanjutnya itu adalah berdasarkan dari 5 agregat tersebut. Jadi itu lebih ke becoming ya, becoming.
Yeah, actually, this has a scientific proof by Ian Stevenson from University of Virginia. You can check scientific proof of rebirth. So whether you really believe that you'll be reborn or not, that won't stop the process. So you'll still re-become, whether you know it or not. Yes. So the question that comes on this teaching that, okay, yes, then who re-becomes if we are here, and now what goes into the next life? That's a big question, and we can address it later on. But when you look at the answer to that question, is that even at the time of talking now, there is nothing goes to the next, whatever, apart from impression, karma, and all this kind of thing. Like we started this talk. Now we have different new cells, we have different feelings, perception of an African monk, understanding of what I've been teaching. So many things have changed. So there's really nothing that really had to go to the next moment where we are now. So that's what we can address it in the question and answer session. Yeah, so but we leave it like that.
Jadi untuk rebirth atau tentang rebirth ini sebenarnya ada studi yang dilakukan oleh Ian Stevenson dari West Virginia. Di sana bisa dilihat dari penelitiannya mengenai rebirth. Jadi ini benar-benar memang ada dan ya mau percaya atau tidak, memang ini adalah sesuatu yang sebenarnya terjadi dan sebenarnya dari satu momen ke momen yang lain pun kita sudah berubah. Jadi misalkan dari momen ini ke momen yang lainnya, persepsi kita juga sudah berubah. Maksudnya persepsi contoh misalnya terhadap Bante dan ajaran yang lainnya. Jadi kita selalu ber-evolve ya.
Since I was asked to give a talk for 1 hour, time is up. So exactly 1 hour from the time I started talking. So then I'll open it to Q&A, question and answer session.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bante, for the very insightful talk today on Kamma. I think a lot of our audience and our friends also get better understanding on what Kamma is, and hopefully we can apply it in our daily life by understanding it better. So Sis Lenny will help to moderate some questions, but maybe to start off with, I will start with the first few questions, so maybe first 1 or 2 questions. The first question that we will ask is, since we know already that vipaka, which is the fruit of the Kamma, it's going to ripen based on the conditions. But if we know that the vipaka is about to come, I mean, like it's about to become fruits, and it's not a good fruit. We know that something not very good is going to happen. Is there any way to reduce the impact of the vipaka coming to fruition?
Yes, there's a way you start doing good things. Even the Buddha said in one discourse is in Anguttara Nikaya, the simile of a salt. He said that when there's a small lake and you put this much salt, it becomes salty. But the same amount of salt, if you have to put it in lake, I don't know, Indonesia lake. What's the biggest lake in Indonesia? What's the biggest lake in Indonesia? For us, we have Lake Victoria in Africa. What's the biggest lake in Indonesia?
Maybe we can give example of Lake Toba, Danau Toba, where Sis Lenny is at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lake Toba. Lake Toba. Huh?
Yeah.
So if the same amount of salt that you are putting in a cup Eh? It is a cup. You put salt, the same amount of salt, maybe 50 grams or half a kilo. You put salt here, and then you drink from this with this cup. What will happen? It will be too salty. But the same amount of salt, you take it to Lake what's the lake in Indonesia?
Toba.
Big lake? Oktober, yeah. So you put the same amount there and you test the water. What will you think? Is it going to be as salty as in a cup, or is going to be, it will be there, but it's not as salty. We can't say that the salt is not there. It's there because you put it there, but it's not, you cannot feel the whatever. Yeah. So the same thing, if you've done something bad and you go through this process, and I'm going to tell you the process. 1, you admit that you've done something wrong, not denial. You admit that, okay, out of greed, hatred, and illusion, I've done something wrong. 2, you determine not to do the same thing again. Make a determination not to do the same thing again. 3, you amend according to Dhamma. Say sorry and all this kind of thing. You retake the 5 precepts. And the 4th, you do good. Once you do that, starting doing good things, even if something comes, it will come with its results, but it's not going as impactful if you start doing bad things. Let's say you are stealing and you continue going on stealing. So you'll be caught up even when you steal very small thing, you know. But because now you stole something and you know that bad thing will come, and you go to the temple, you start meditating, and then you might even steal a book from the temple, but well, they will catch you, but you'll be shamed. You won't be in a prison. The result will come. So now you can translate.
Okay. Alright, thank you, Bante. So, pertanyaan yang pertama adalah bagaimana cara kita mengurangi impact dari vipaka, hasil dari kamma yang akan berbuah dan mungkin buahnya kurang baik. Jadi bagaimana caranya kita mengurangi efek kurang baik dari suatu kamma yang tidak terlalu baik. Nah, jadi Bante di sini menggunakan analogi dari Anguttara Nikaya, di mana analoginya adalah seperti garam yang kalau kita misalkan garam kita masukkan ke garam yang sama, jumlah garam yang sama kita masukkan ke dalam 1 gelas, dibandingkan dengan garam yang sama kita masukkan ke dalam suatu danau yang besar. Walaupun tetap akan terasa asin, karena itu namanya adalah garam yang mungkin kita taruh sendiri, tetapi rasa asinnya akan jauh lebih kurang di danau yang besar. Jadi danau yang besar itu adalah dengan cara kita berbuat baik lebih banyak. Dengan cara berbuat baik lebih banyak, kita akan membuat impact-nya itu tidak sebegitu besar dibandingkan dengan pada saat kita tidak melakukan apa-apa atau bahkan berbuat buruk ya. Jadi garam itu adalah misalkan suatu hal yang kurang baik yang kita lakukan, dan gelas itu adalah atau air tersebut merupakan dari kumpulan perbuatan kita. Pada saat perbuatan baik tersebut kita lakukan lebih banyak, jadi contohnya kita memperbesar air tersebut menjadi seperti danau, maka rasa asinnya itu tidak akan terasa seasin pada saat itu hanya merupakan 1 cup. 4 langkah yang Bante suggest pada situasi tersebut. Yang pertama adalah mengakui. Jadi kita mengakui dan tidak deny. Maksudnya kita benar-benar mengakui bahwa kita sudah melakukan hal yang tidak baik. Dari sana maka kita dapat benar-benar menyesal dan say sorry terhadap perbuatan yang sudah kita lakukan, dan kita melakukan lebih banyak hal-hal baik. Jadi kita jangan menambahkan garam lagi. Jangan menambahkan garam lagi di atas garam yang sudah kita lakukan. Tapi kita harus menambah perbuatan baik kita supaya minimum itu akan membantu menetralisir. Jadi contoh misalkan mencuri, ada seseorang yang mencuri dari buku dari wihara, yang mungkin dengan dia melakukan lebih banyak perbuatan baik, dia tidak sampai di penjara, tetapi walaupun dia tetap akan dihukum, tapi tidak sampai di penjara. Itu hanya merupakan contoh saja. Kira-kira demikian untuk pertanyaan yang pertama. Dan Sis Leni, is there any question from the audience?
Yeah, but just a moment. I
Oh,
would
yes,
like
yes.
to also remind you something
Yes,
that
Bante.
the results of the karma, those are the technology, the inner workings of the law of karma. We cannot calculate it. The Buddha said that you get berserk when you start calculating the results of your action, intention actions. So we don't know exactly when you do something, what you get when you do a certain action. So it's not like you steal, the people will steal from you. No, no, no. So, but you can, it's enough guidelines we have to follow the law of karma. And we can really shape our life, but we should not calculate our life and it's okay, you know, I've stolen some money somewhere on the street. Let me go and live in a monastery forever. No, nobody will ever catch me. Nobody will ever steal from me. No, we cannot do like that because in the monastery there's only monks. They don't have anything, and nobody. They will tell me to leave things behind, and nobody will ever steal from me. No, no, no. So we should not think like that. We should live. We should have enough guidelines so that we start to do good things, and then the results will come, but they will be less impactful. It's very important to know that.
Oke, jadi ada explanation tambahan dari Bante, yaitu hasil dari karma atau buahnya itu tidak bisa seperti kalkulator yang kita hitung ya. Jadi maksudnya tidak berarti, kita lakukan A, maka hasilnya akan jadi A. Kita lakukan B, maka hasilnya akan jadi seperti C. Karma tidak seperti demikian, tetapi apa yang bisa kita pegang adalah dengan mengetahui karma ini, kita mendapat guidance atau guideline untuk berbuat lebih banyak baik. Jadi maksudnya kita tidak bisa mendapatkan seperti rumusan gitu, itu bukan merupakan satu rumusan bahwa kita melakukan hal A, kita akan dapat hal B, kita melakukan hal C, kita dapat hal D. Karma tidak bekerja seperti demikian.
Okay, thank you for the inspiring Dhamma teaching, Bante. Thank you, Anumodana. And thank you, Sis Jenny. Translation yang sangat bagus dan sangat mudah dimengerti oleh kita semua. Terima kasih, Anumodana. Ya, saat ini sudah ada beberapa pertanyaan dari audiens. Ya, saya akan membacakan dalam bahasa Indonesia ya. So Sis Jen, please help to translate. Thank you. Dari Sis Kema, nama budaya Bante. Tadi dijelaskan bahwa karma itu bersifat individu. Bagaimana dengan kehidupan seseorang anak saat ini, apakah ada hubungannya dengan karma masa lalu orang tuanya? Mungkin antara orang tua sama anak itu apakah ada kesamaan karma sehingga bisa menjadi ibu dan anak gitu. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you for the question. So the question, Bante, is just now it was stated that karma is not collective, right? I mean, it's not collective karma, but karma is more to individual. So the question is for children's karma. Is this children karma of a children?
Children.
Karma of children. Is it affected by the past karma of the parents? I mean, is there any relation of the parents' karma with the children?
Well, the children, when they are born, they come with their own karmic baggage. Yes. So when the Buddha talks about conception, 3 things he talked about, they have to come together in order to produce children. One is the mother is ready, and the father is ready, and then there's a 3rd condition called Gandhabba. So while the parents provide the physical base, in other words, the fertile egg, but it cannot produce. This you find in Mahanidana Sutta in Digha Nikaya. two conditions are enough, not enough, sorry, father and mother to come together. It's not enough. There must be the third factor, which is called Gandaba. In other words, that's what the children past life, what they come with, what they have done, they have stolen things, they have done this, they have contributed, they have been giving dana, generosity, all that kind of thing. At the moment of death, they don't stop. They continue on. It's just like the bulb. When the bulb breaks, light goes off, that's life goes off, but still the electronics are coming through the bulb holder. Just waiting to put a new bulb and then continue. Light will start. So now, bulb, you can make it from England, where different factors, but still there's some electronics still coming. Electronics coming. By breaking the bulb doesn't stop the electrons through the wires. Yeah, just ready to get a new bulb and then put it there and light will come, right? So now, once we are reborn, we come with our electronics waves. We can say karmic forces plus ignorance plus craving from our past life. We transfer it. We bring it forward. So now, this is not so much of the mother and father, because the mother, they have their own karma. They are the one who did their good things or bad things. That's not transfused into the baby. Mother provides just the physical base, and they provide the father also provides. So the parents' karma doesn't really, like, let's say the parent, while pregnant, they can't steal something. When they're born, they born a baby, they give birth to a baby, and the baby also will start losing all the diapers and all these things because it's getting the rewards of the mother. The father, the same thing. So this has nothing to do with the children, right? So the children will have their own karma, individual karma they have done in the past life, and they start creating new ones. And it will go on until we get full enlightened. So in other words, what children have is not the parents' results of the karma. What they have is actually the body. You find out if it's somebody from England and they married somebody from England, the body will look like English. If they got married to an African, the body will be mixed. It will be like between black and white. Chocolate. So these things they provide, and you say, wow, you look at this child, the mother's Ugandan, the father's, you can tell those things, but that's not karma. Yeah. Then Indonesia, marry Indonesia, is not going to get a Ugandan. Yeah, you will get still Indonesia, these things. So these things are really, when you look at karma, definitely, the child will inherit, as the phrase say, and we've said all beings are born of their karma. You remember I mentioned that. The beings are born of their karma. Whatever good or bad they do, that will be their karma. So already it's mentioned in the phrase of the Buddha. The Buddha said it already. So it's not, Buddha would say, oh, all beings are born of their parents' karma. You get? Yes. So you can explain.
All right, Bhante. And maybe to add one more question, to just clarify one of the question also on that matter. But for children to be born in that family, that's also because of karma, right, Bhante? Meaning,
that means you've done a good thing you yourself. The person who's going to be born, you have done good things in the past, and you're born in a Buddhist family. You're not born in a war-torn area whereby as soon as you are born, the bullets pass you. Yeah, to be born in a particular family, the Buddha talks about is good karma, whether it's high family, low family, in other words, low status, right? Being born, and the first time you're born, your mother is pregnant, but it's practice meditation. And when you start crying, you are in a temple, seeing monks, all those are good karma of you, of the child, not the mother, basically. A view that you've done a good thing in the past.
All right. Okay, I'll start translating, Bante. So, yes, menjawab pertanyaan dari Sis Leni tadi, yaitu bahwa seperti yang tadi dikatakan bahwa karma merupakan karma individu dan bukan merupakan kolektif karma. Jadi apakah karma dari anak itu terhubung dengan karma masa lalu orang tuanya dan apakah ada kesamaan karma di sana? Untuk menjawab hal tersebut, sebenarnya jawaban simpelnya adalah untuk seseorang dapat dilahirkan kembali pada saat ini ada 3 faktor, yaitu ayah dan ibu siap itu memberikan space fisik, memberikan secara fisik. Dan yang ketiga adalah gandaba. Jadi di sini adalah past life dari children tersebut. Jadi sebenarnya suatu anak kamanya itu tidak terlink dengan kama orang tuanya. Jadi pada saat misalkan orang tua pada saat pregnant, pada saat mengandung, misalkan orang tua melakukan suatu hal yang tidak baik, itu tidak berarti bahwa karma buruknya itu akan terinherit ke anaknya, maksudnya akan jatuh ke anaknya, itu tidak seperti demikian. Jadi karma itu anak membawa karma luggage masing-masing. Jadi anak dilahirkan dengan istilahnya bagasi karma masing-masing. Jadi merupakan karma masing-masing. Nah, apakah seseorang dilahirkan di suatu keluarga, apakah itu karena hubungan karma? Ya, itu sebenarnya merupakan karma baik atau buruk dari anak tersebut. Jadi suatu anak misalkan dilahirkan di keluarga yang keluarga Buddhis yang baik, yang di tempat yang aman, bukan di tempat yang tempat perang misalkan, itu merupakan karma baik dari sang anak. Jadi karmanya itu benar-benar, jadi karma itu memang merupakan karma dari masing-masing ya. Jadi semua anak itu dilahirkan dengan luggage karma mereka masing-masing istilahnya. Thank you, Sis Leni.
Thank you, Bante. Thank you, Sis Jen. Ya, kita lanjut ya pertanyaannya ya, Sis Jen.
Ya.
Ini dari Sis Teriani Putri. Ya, ini mungkin ada terkait dengan yang tadi. Ya, Bante, saya ingin bertanya. Sering kita dengar bahwa akibat baik buruknya perbuatan kita, baik melalui pikiran, ucapan, dan perbuatan, pasti akan ditanggung oleh kita sendiri. Nah, apakah anaknya berbuat sesuatu, efeknya akan ke orang tua dan ke saudaranya? Terima kasih.
Okay. So, Bante, I will be translating another question. This is in a way related to the previous questions. This question is, if we are doing something good or bad, say for example, if we are doing something wholesome or not wholesome, will the effect of what has been done be not inherited, but I mean like, will it affect our parents or will it affect our relatives? So this is the other way around, yeah. Just now, whether what the parents do, for example, affect the children, I mean like, is that related to the karma of the children? And now is the other way around. What the children do, does this affect the parents or the relatives and others?
It affects them. I give you an example. The children, and we had it recently. One of our novice monk touch fire and get burnt. Though we the parents, I'm giving you, okay, let me use your case as a parents. You have a child. You tell the child, please never touch fire, it burns. Doesn't believe you, so it's deluded. You know, growing up, and then one time you go somewhere, and the kid out of delusion touch fire. Child is about 3 years. That children touches fire and get burnt. Doesn't die, but is burnt. You find the whole everything, skin is off, definitely it's going to affect you. The results are going to affect you are not the one who is going to get burnt. In other words, the results is still the children. But you start now getting the ripple effects of that. That means you have to take the child to the hospital. So I wouldn't say that, okay, when the child touches fire, you'll get burnt. That will be okay. Your intention, actions, you repeat, you get burnt. The parents don't get burnt. But they have now to take you to the hospital. They may have saved some money for food, and now they have to get ambulance, they have to take you to the hospital. Every day they have to stay in the hospital until you heal, whatever that will take, whether it's 1 month or 2 months. So the parents, in a way, they suffer. That's why it's good to be careful, because when we do something, it can affect us, it can affect others, or both. But we can't say that, okay, the child touched fire and then the parents get burnt. That will be the karma of the child affecting the parents, but that's not what happened. They don't get the direct effect of that. However, as a responsibility, out of compassion, now they're taking the children using other laws. Compassion for the children. They don't want the children to suffer, so they take the hospital. Not because they got the results of the children's karma, but actually, these are the duties of the parents to take the children to hospitals when they get sick. Are we together?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you,
But
Bante.
also, if the children set fire on a house, definitely out of greed, and then the house get burnt, definitely the children, the parents are going to get burnt.
Yeah.
So in other words, the results can affect globally.
Yeah.
So the karma is intentional, all right, one individual, but the results can affect other people because they're getting burnt also.
Yeah.
But if minus getting burnt, you are kind of free from the result of this guy, this person, but you have to do other things in order to take that person to the hospital. Yes. You didn't get burnt, but you go out of compassion, out of responsibility for as a parent, moral obligation you have, you take to the hospital, but you lose some money. Yeah.
Thank you, Bante. And Bante, that means that because there's a lot of misconception, like for example, if there is a child in the family that brings a lot of troubles to the family, meaning maybe the child is talking about adult children, yeah, maybe already teenagers and already adult, and they like to act unwholesome and bring a lot of troubles to the families. Is that because of the previous karmic link? I mean, like to answer, to wrap this all in one. Because there are certain kids that for some reason and another, maybe, for example, the children is a robber who likes to rob things and cause a lot of problems to the family. Is that because of the previous karmic link? That's why the children is causing a lot of problems to the families now?
Okay, now this is where I wanted to mention this last time, but there was not enough time. I just talked about niyama. But that was post-canonical, but something from the canon, it's in Anguttara Nikaya. Let me read for you here. Let me read for you. I hope it is going to be clear. Yeah, I just ran out of time, so I didn't refer to it, but I was supposed to refer to it. The scripture is closed. Let me see if I can see it from the scripture itself. Sure. But if I don't see it quickly from the scripture,
it's okay, Bante.
I'm going to read it to you so that you get the flavor of the scripture.
Sure.
Let me see, 141, 140 something. I have written it somewhere. I want to read it so that you get the flavor of your question. Yep. It's from Girimananda Sutta. Girimananda Sutta, if you have this book, Anguttara Nikaya, is page page 1412.
Okay.
I'm going to read to you from 12 to 13, right? And what Ananda is the perception of danger. Can I just read all together, then you paraphrase it?
Okay, I'll try.
You paraphrase it. And what Ananda is the perception of danger. Here, having gone to the forest, to the foot of tree, to the empty hut, bhikkhus reflect this body is the source of much pain and danger. For all sorts of affliction arises in this body, that is the eye disease, disease of the inner ear, nose, tongue, disease of tongue disease, body disease, head disease, disease of external ear. That means all diseases of the body, toothache, cough, asthma, catarrh, all the diseases, fever, stomach ache, fainting, dysentery, and so on. I'm not going to list all the diseases because you may not be able to. So continue on to diabetes, Freud, cancer, fistula, illness originating from bile. There's some illness originating from bile, phlegm, wind, or their combination. That's already 4. Illness produced by change of climate, right? That's the 5th. Illness produced by careless behavior. So that means that must be care if the children are behaving in a certain way, they're just careless. It may not be because of their past karma. So we continue. Illness produced by assault. That means there's also some illness produced by assault. Or illness produced by the result of karma. Those already 8, and karma is only 1. So that means there must be also careless behavior. So that's answer question. This question, I'm going to answer it like that. Let me finish the passage. And cold, heat, hunger, thirst, defecation, and urination. Thus, he does contemplate danger in this body. This is called perception of danger. Now, my friend, the thing is, not everything is because of karma. We talked about it. That's another extreme. Another extreme is thinking that there's no cause, right? So now the behavior of a teenager jumping from a fence brings a lot of trouble, smoking marijuana and all these things. That's not necessarily from the past karma. We can't. It's only the Buddha can figure out that. But we can, though, deduce that this guy has a peer pressure, there's careless behavior, and other things. So that's a quick answer from your question.
Okay, thank you Bante. Alright, coba saya translate dulu untuk pertanyaan dari Sisleni yang pertama, yaitu terkait dengan pertanyaan apakah sering kita dengar bahwa akibat dari baik buruknya perbuatan kita akan ditanggung oleh kita yang berbuat. Dapatkah atau mungkinkah dari perbuatan kita juga akan ditanggung oleh orang tua kita atau saudara kandung kita? Nah, jawaban singkatnya itu merupakan perbuatan yang dilakukan oleh anak misalkan. Misalnya sudah diinfo jangan pegang api, tapi anaknya masih pegang api misalkan. Memang efeknya itu ke anaknya. Anaknya mungkin terbakar parah, walaupun tidak sampai meninggal, tapi itu efeknya itu adalah ke anaknya. Tetapi ada domino efek yang akan dirasakan oleh orang tuanya. Misalkan ya jelas karena tanggung jawab dari orang tua dan belas kasih dari orang tua tersebut, maka orang tuanya harus membawa anaknya ke rumah sakit melalui pengobatan dan lainnya. Jadi secara singkatnya itu sebenarnya efek dari karma tersebut itu atau efek dari perbuatan tersebut itu sebenarnya dirasakan langsung oleh anaknya, tetapi ripple dan domino efeknya itu akan terkena juga kepada orang tuanya karena itu lebih ke berbasis welas asih. Nah, dan melanjuti pertanyaan kedua, yaitu terkait dengan apakah kadang-kadang ada anak yang sering memberikan masalah kepada orang tuanya, misalkan ya sering memberikan masalah, apakah itu ada terkait dengan karma masa lalu dari kedua orang tua dengan anaknya tersebut. Nah, di sini Bante mengeluarkan quote dari Girimananda Sutta dari Anguttara Nikaya halaman 1412. Mungkin ini detailnya dapat nanti dilihat dari Sutta, tapi pada singkatnya penderitaan itu bukan hanya disebabkan oleh penyakit ya, bukan hanya dari penyakit saja, tapi bisa disebabkan oleh assault itu attack, atau misalkan oleh ignorance, dan jadi bukan hanya karma itu hanya satu faktor dari demikian banyak faktor. Jadi karma itu bukan satu-satunya reason, bukan satu-satunya alasan terjadinya suatu hal. Jadi untuk menjawab seperti hal tersebut, tidak semua hal-hal yang terjadi di saat ini itu adalah semuanya diatribusikan karena karma. Jadi ada sebagian yang itu adalah kemungkinan adalah dari careless atau tindakan gegabah misalkan. Jadi memang karma mempengaruhi, tetapi kita harus ingat banget bahwa karma itu bukan satu-satunya dari penyebab dari apa yang terjadi. Oke.
Yeah, there's something to add though.
Yeah.
Having saying so, let us now go on the science side, where it's believed that DNA, certain things can pass from DNA from parents to children. That's again science, but the Buddha never talked about this. But new science like epigenetics found out actually parents can pass off the behavior of the other to the children based on whether they are in a war and they are killed, and they call it epigenetics, and there's some kind of behavior people having them but never experienced the war. Let's say, for instance, in Vietnam, already that's recorded. Children behaving in a way based on how the parents were behaving actually. So now, this is trauma. People facing trauma, they are traumatized, and you find out, okay, this is something that passed through the genes. That's the way how the transmission of like alcoholism. They say that the parents, they're alcoholic, and now the genealogy from the gene, whatever. But then there's also what you call parenting styles. You know, when somebody was born, how the parents bring up this person. Are they good role models or not? All themselves are really very notorious. And how do you expect your children not to be notorious if when the children are born, are seeing you quarreling, beating each other? We call that nurture, how you're nurtured, you know? They may pick up, and the children learn by seeing. So you are battling your spouse, and all the time they see you quarreling from the time they are born. So I mean, they become teenagers, they start also beating their own friends. They start quarreling and all that. So that could be coming from the parenting style. Yeah. So I think it's very, very important also to note what's new in the field, that actually DNA, the role of DNA, which we don't find in Buddhism, but it's acknowledged that certain things can be passed through DNA.
Thank you, Bante. Jadi untuk menambahkan saja, Bante mengatakan bahwa ada juga penelitian mengenai DNA, bahwa DNA ada sebagian dari tindakan atau sikap kita yang orang tua yang mungkin bisa terpas melalui DNA ke anaknya. Ini yang dari epigenetics. Nah, jadi misalkan ada hal-hal tertentu yang mungkin memang orang tuanya mempunyai sikap tertentu dan dapat diturunkan ke anaknya misalkan. Nah, tapi yang juga tidak kalah pentingnya adalah pembawaan atau cara membesarkan anak. Kalau misalkan cara membesarkan anak memang sering dimarahi, misalkan, ya tidak heran kalau misalkan hal tersebut dipas ke anaknya gitu, karena anaknya mencontoh apa yang dilakukan oleh si orang tua tersebut. Thank you.
Okay, so we have about 2 minutes.
Thank you. Maybe last question, Bante. Maybe one last question. Okay. Yeah. Mungkin satu pertanyaan terakhir, ya, Bante, kenapa untuk karma dan kelahiran kembali ya? Nah, terkait kelahiran kembali, kenapa ada manusia atau seseorang yang dia bisa mengingat kelahiran masa lampau dia, dan sebagian besar tidak mengingat masa lalu kelahiran mereka sebelumnya, ya. Dan kalau boleh dikatakan ini semuanya kan hanya kepercayaan, dan kita tahu bahwa kalau saya sih yakin itu benar. Nah, tapi cuman kan untuk sebagian orang kan, nah, ada surga dan neraka. Nah, sedangkan mungkin seseorang itu belum pernah mampir ke sana ya untuk saat ini ya, untuk semua orang ya. Nah, jadi bagaimana mengatakan bahwa itu benar adanya? Dan yang kedua tadi, kenapa sebagian orang itu dia mengingat masa lalu mereka, kelahiran masa lalu mereka, sebagian besar tidak mengingat. Ya, terima kasih Bante.
All right, I'll translate the questions, Bante. There are two questions actually in this question. So the first one is, in the case of rebirth or rebecoming, some people may be able to recollect their past life, while some may not be able to recollect their past life. Why is it so? And the second one is the concept of like heaven and hell, for example. We haven't been there. I mean, like most people haven't.
Sorry, I was jotting out something.
No worries. Yep. The second question. The second question is the concept of heaven and hell. I mean, most or heaven and hell, or good realm and bad realm. Most people haven't been there.
What's that? That is what for hell
heaven,
and heaven?
Yeah, heaven and hell. Yes. The concept of heaven and hell, most people haven't been there, or at least they cannot recollect being there. How do we know that, it actually exists?
Okay, how do we know that it exists?
Like good real, maybe like heaven and hell in a way, a good realm or bad realm, for example.
Have you been to Uganda?
No, I haven't been. I haven't been to Africa actually.
How do you know that Uganda exists?
Yes, from what we heard in the news.
Okay. Anyway, we start with the first question. Yes. Actually. Some people there's rebecoming and all these things. We read in a book, we see videos, scientifically. The person who asked this question, I really ask you to Google and you see Ian Stevenson. You are going to really see exactly what's going on. Because we are living in an age, a very scientific age, whereby we need to see something physically and test tube and prove it scientifically. So sometimes when we talk about, okay, people can recollect their past life, how would they know? Why is it happening like this and some others cannot? You can even ask yourself, why others are doctors and others are thieves? They all go to the same school. Why others are engineers, others are monks, others are nuns, others are farmers, others at the age of 3, they play piano. Others at the age of 12, they can author the book. Others at the age, these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Why others, you got all the same class. You get all the same teachers. But others, they just don't even pass primary 1. Others, they become doctors. Others, they get PhD. Others, they just smoke. Others, they just drink. Others, they become nurses. Others, why? same teacher, same head, same food you eat, same thing, same syllabus. Yeah, you start asking yourself these questions. Now, that is a very interesting thing that also I saw myself in my life. I've seen two people who can recollect their past life. One can only recollect only one. He's a monk, but now he passed away. He was there on my ordination. He used to live in California. It's called Sobana. He's in the book of Ian Stevenson. He's documented in the book. One past life. Another one is a boy. When he was 3 years, he used to chant the sutras. He's still alive in Sri Lanka. He's called Damarwan. You can even Google. Now he's a monk. But at the age of 3, he chanted, and then the mother used to do like the mouth like this because he didn't know Pali language. He did like this, thinking that he's going to shame her when the visitors come. Until somebody came who knew Pali language, and said, that's Pali language, because he was a scholar. And they recorded all the sutras. This boy hosted me in Sri Lanka. He told me where he was 1,500 years ago with Buddha Gosa. And we were together in USA. I traveled with him in USA. This guy is known around the world that he was actually here many years ago. Now, the question is why others can do that and others cannot. Because that's not the only prodigy children. We have people who are professors when they become a professor of Princeton University when they are only 24 years. Professor. We've seen people going to the astronomy. Astronomy. Not everybody can do this. The simple answer is that we have different capabilities. We all come with different software, different capability. I'm telling you.
Yes.
We all, we have the same hardware pretty much. You have 2 eyes, I have 2 eyes.
Yeah.
You have a nose and mouth. You have this other, but we all have different capability based on our past karma. Most people, because of the passage, that journey is amazing. I think most of the stuff we forget through that passage. Just come from the beautiful world there in mother's womb, and all of a sudden you come to this light with all the air which you are not used to feed, to breathe, the food that you used to just get on demand straight away, but now you have to cry to get it. Then the pressure that you go through, and I believe that most of it is forgotten on that passage. It's not an easy passage. There is cozy temperature, light, just about the right light. Here you are looking at the light, very traumatizing basically. Then people touching you, unwanted visitors, you get scared basically. You cannot evaporate, I'm telling you. Yeah. So the quick answer is that we all have different capabilities. There are some monks in Burma, they can chant the whole Tipitaka. We call them Tipitaka Sayadaw. The whole scriptures. I'm telling you. Can you do it? Can you do it? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, you go to the Guinness Book of Record and look at the monks. There's one monk even who came to my temple here in Uganda. They can chant the whole Buddhist scriptures, the whole of it. Why not all monks? In Burma, they're all trained. In Burma, there are many monks, and I haven't seen other monks. In Thailand, there's monks. In Sri Lanka, there's monks. In Cambodia, but we find them in Burma. Who can actually have that capability of chanting the entire book? Why they can do it and others cannot is individual differences in temperament. That's the answer. So can you translate that? These are people having special gifts, actually. Everybody has a special gift. There are some people who are, even during the time of the Buddha, there are some people who are having psychic powers, others are very good at ascetic practices, others are good in meditation, others are good at this and that and that. Just this, the answer is clear there. The second question, the concept of hell and heaven, if you have not been here, there, how do you know that it exists? My friend, from a Buddhist point of view, you don't have to go to hell and heaven to see it, to believe whether it's there. You just have to have greed, hatred, and a delusion in high gear, and then you are going to experience hell right here now. Then you get a test whether hell exists or not. So now, let us to be more clear. If you want to get a test of what the hell is, break all the 5 precepts in Indonesia. Now, is the people from Indonesia who want to know that? So advise them, they break all the 5 precepts in front of a police, and they all have 100. I'm going to give a good figure: 100% greed. All right? Then they will have another 100% hatred, and then they will have 100% delusion, and they have 100% fear. Then they will have 400% in total. And let them use that percentage to do physical actions, verbal actions, and mental actions. And then I'll give them a hotline. What will happen? I'll give my phone number in Uganda, but it has to be full, 100% of greed, hatred, delusion, and fear. And out of that, they have to act. That means they will start going to insult the police. They'll have to go and steal the police. They have to go to the president palace and break the whatever. They go into the fence. They'll ask them, why are you going to the fence? We say we are going to steal money. All that thing. And then I'll have a hotline within the next 24 hours. I'll get the answer, whether that person knows the hell, whether it exists or not. Now, they don't have to go. They don't have to take a Garudam, what's called Garuka, the airline in Indonesia, and
Garuda.
fly to go.
Garuda.
Garuda. They don't have to buy air ticket for that to go to heaven. I mean to hell. 400%, and it has to be translated into action and speech, because it's not enough to have 400% greed, hatred, delusion, and fear. They have to act out of it. Acting out of it, that means from where they are, they start going to rape all the people around there, to steal, to kill, everything. Drink. They can drink all the time, the whole night, and then after drinking, 5 precepts. I gave only 5 precepts. Let them start drinking from now. And then after drinking, let them start breaking every precept, and let them even start from the police, actually. They should go start stealing a police car. That's very, very clear. They will tell me whether there is hell or not. Now, heaven. Same, let us do the opposite. Generous to 100%. Tell them to donate even to Uganda Buddhist Centre out of their generous. Then they will have compassion and metta loving kindness. They will have wisdom and understanding. They will have courage. And now 100%, each of them, that's meaning 400%, let them do acts of generosity, loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Then I'm going to tell you that person is going to see heaven now. They will have peace of mind. They'll have joy. They have metta, karuna, loving kindness, compassion. And they will just go and sleep and say, wow, where am I? I'm in Jakarta. But no, I'm not in Jakarta. I just feel I'm somewhere.
Yeah.
So answer that question.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Bante. Thank you. So, untuk menjawab pertanyaan terakhir ya, 2 pertanyaan terakhir. Ya, pertanyaan terakhir itu terkait dengan kamma dan kelahiran rebirth. Ada sebagian yang dapat mengingat masa lampau, ada sebagian orang yang dapat mengingat masa lampau, hidup sebelumnya. Ada juga yang tidak. Untuk menjawab pertanyaan tersebut, basically semua orang itu mempunyai software yang berbeda. Jadi kita itu diberikan dengan software dan bakat yang berbeda-beda. Jadi memang tidak semua orang akan dapat mempunyai kemampuan khusus tersebut. Tapi kalau kita lihat dari penelitian yang dilakukan oleh Ian Stevenson terhadap kehidupan masa lampau, itu memang benar-benar ada. Contohnya juga adalah pengalaman pribadi dari Bante, di mana Bante sendiri juga pernah bertemu dengan anak usia 3 tahun dari Sri Lanka, namanya Darmawan, di mana anak tersebut dapat mengingat full sutta. Padahal anak baru 3 tahun ya. Sedangkan kita tahu kalau 3 tahun itu kita ngomong aja terkadang masih belum jelas. Tapi ini dapat mengingat full sutta. Nah, ini contoh-contoh yang memang memberikan bahwa sebenarnya kehidupan masa sebelumnya itu ada. Walaupun tidak semua orang itu dapat mengingat karena memang software dan kemampuan itu berbeda-beda. Itu juga yang menjelaskan kenapa ada beberapa orang yang berbakat walaupun gurunya sama, sekolahnya sama, backgroundnya sama, tapi ada sebagian yang sangat menonjol, misalkan bisa menjadi profesor pada usia yang sangat muda. Jadi itu jawaban singkatnya adalah karena memang kemampuan orang itu berbeda-beda. Lalu pertanyaan kedua, terkait dengan surga dan neraka atau realem baik dan tidak baik, apakah sebenarnya itu benar-benar ada karena tidak semua orang itu dapat mengetahuinya, dapat merasakannya. Nah, jawabannya adalah sebenarnya sangat simpel, jawaban dari Bante sendiri. Coba lakukan hal-hal yang memang tidak baik. Jadi dari 3 kekotoran batin itu serakah, benci, gelap batin. Coba kalau misalkan full on seseorang melakukan hal tersebut, dia dijamin dalam kehidupan masa ini pun dia akan merasakan apa yang dimaksud dengan neraka atau realm tidak bagus, mulai dari ditangkap polisi dan selanjutnya. Sama juga dengan surga. Pada saat kita melakukan hal-hal yang memang 100% bagus, misalkan contohnya kita melakukan hal yang penuh dengan welas asih, lalu kita karuna mudita dan full, itu kita diyakinkan juga pasti akan merasakan surga walaupun kita sekarang sedang berada di Jakarta misalkan. Jadi jawaban singkatnya seperti itu. Jadi sebenarnya kita tidak perlu secara fisik ada di surga maupun neraka untuk merasakan realem baik dan tidak baik. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So now time is up. I'm going to do the blessing.
Thank you, Bante. Okay.
I'm going to do the blessing.
Yeah.
And then yes. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagava aram samma sambuddho vijacana sampano sugatoro kaviduanutaro purisadama sarati satta deva manusana buddho bhagavati swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ipasiko opanaiko pachatam veritabo vinyo iti supatipano bhagavato savakasango jipatipano bhagavato savakasango nyapatipano bhagavato savakasango sami chipatipano bhagavato savakasango yedam chattari purisayugani ata purisapogala esa bhagavato savakasango uneyo pa uneyo dakine anjari karaneyo anuttara punyaketa lokasa tisabitiyo vajantu sabarogo vinasatu mateva wantantarayo sukidiga yuko baba vivadana sirisani chavuda pajaino chattaro dhamma wantante ayuano sukambala bot sabba mangarara kantu sabba devata sabba buddhan bhavena sada soti bhavantute bot sabba mangarara kantu sabba devata sabba dhamman bhavena sada soti bhavantute bot sabba mangarara kantu sabba devata sabba sanganu bhavena sada soti bhavantute. Let us show merit for those who have accrued from listening to Dhamma talk, giving Dhamma talk, and all the merits these who have done. We are going to share our merit. Akasata Chabumatta Devana Gama Hidika Punyatam Anumodita Chiramra Kantu Sasana Chiramra Kantu Loka Sasana Chiramra Kantu Desana Chiramra Kantu Mampara Etavata Chakame Sampadam Punya Sampan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabbe Buddha Anumodantu Sabbe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idame Nyatina Hotu Sukita Hotu Nyatayo Idame Nyatina Hotu Sukita Hotu Nyatayo Idame nyatina hotu sukita hotu nyatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Terima kasih banyak for listening.
Terima kasih.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you, Bante. Bante,
You're welcome.
we are from Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia. Have a little bit appreciation for Bante, this token.
Yes.
Maybe one day if someone go to Uganda or Bante visit us in Indonesia, it will give to Bante ya. But now just give it virtually first ya.
Yeah, terima kasih banyak.
Okay.
I'll come to Indonesia and get it.
Okay. We take the documentation.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Okay. One photo without the token. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, Bante. Thank you for the inspiring Dhamma teaching to us. Very inspiring, and we are very appreciated because of our Uganda, and give us a Dhamma teaching, precious Dhamma teaching in Indonesia. Thank you, Bante. Thank you, Anumodana. Dan terima kasih juga Sis Jen sudah membantu mentranslate sesi Dhamma sharing pada sore hari ini. Translation yang sangat bagus dengan sangat mudah dimengerti. Ya, mudah-mudahan talk ini bisa, Dhamma sharing ini bisa membawa berkah dan manfaat buat kita semua, masyarakat Indonesia dan semua makhluk. Ya. Sampai ketemu lagi di channel YouTube Live-nya Buddhist Fellowship Indonesia di kesempatan berikutnya. Terima kasih. Thank you Anumodana Bante. Thank you Sis Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you Bante.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See you in Indonesia. See you in Indonesia, Anumodana.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
bye.
Thank you Bante.
Okay, bye.